Welcome once again to EduPen Lectures. So we are still continuing to solve quadratic equations. So up to so far we have solved quadratic equations using the first method, which was factorization. We have actually solved quadratic equations also by using a method in which we complete a square. And lastly but not least, we have reached the final method that we can use to solve quadratic equations as well, which is by using the quadratic formula. So if you have missed any of the previous lectures, be sure to check these two out, which is solving quadratic equations by factorization as well as by completing a square. So in this lesson, basically what we're going to do is that we are going to solve quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. So if you take a look at this equation, you have ax squared plus bx plus c, which is equals to 0. So it is already written in the standard form. And the other thing that you should look at is this formula. This formula is actually our quadratic formula. So you need to memorize this quadratic formula, but then I think sometimes it is also given in the formula sheet, so you can find it there as well, so no stress about it. But then if you are not given any formula sheet, it means that you will have to remember it by heart. So let's see how is it that we use this quadratic formula in order to solve quadratic equations. So if you check this first equation, you see that you have ax squared plus bx plus c. So your c, it's this constant, and your b is the coefficient of x, which is 4 in this equation, and your a is actually the coefficient of x squared, which is 2. So basically, if you come to our equation here, you will see that we have b, we have minus b, we have b squared inside the root, we have minus 4a and c, and we have all over 2a. So at any place where you see a, you're going to replace that a or substitute it with the coefficient of x squared, and wherever you see b, you're going to substitute that b with the coefficient of x, and wherever you see c, you basically substitute it with the number that you have here, which is a constant, which is c. So in this equation it will be minus 2. So let's do it practically. So if you take the equation 2x squared plus 4x minus 2, which is equals to 0. So if you check this equation, you can see that we have a common factor, which is 2. So we can divide by 2 throughout the equation. So we will be left with x squared plus 2x minus 1, which is equals to 0. And then before you do anything or substitute anything into your quadratic formula, just write the value of a, the value of b, as well as the value of c before doing anything else, so that you do not confuse yourself along the way. So the value of a for this equation is going to be 1, because the coefficient of x squared is 1, and the value of b is going to be your 2, and the value of c is going to be your negative 1. Then you can substitute these values into your equations, your formula. So where you see a, you replace that a by 1. Where you see b, you replace that b by 2. And where you see c, you replace it by negative 1. So without any waste of time, let's solve this equation using the quadratic formula. So we have minus b, so it's going to be minus into b is equals to 2, as we've already said. So it's going to be minus into 2 plus or minus the root of b squared, which is equals to 2 squared minus 4ac. So we're going to have minus 4 into the value of a is 1, and then the value of c is equals to negative 1, all over to a, so it's going to be 2 into the value of a, which is 1. Therefore we have that. And then we continue, so we are going to have minus 2 plus or minus the root of 4 minus 4 into minus 1, because 1 multiplied by minus 1 is minus 1, all over 2, which is equals to minus 2 plus or minus the root of 4 plus 4 all over 2, which is equals to minus 2 plus minus the root of 8 all over 2. Therefore your x is equals to minus 2 plus the root of 8 over 2, or your x is equals to minus 2 minus the root of 8 all over 2. So that is basically how you solve your quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell button as well, so that you do not miss any content from EduPen channel.